What is up? What is up? What is up with everybody? This is TEKNOBLAST with Technos Gaming with SIKSLAYER here on the line. And this week has been a crazy one because we had a full week of Starfield and it hit 6 million players. Congratulations to Bethesda, Xbox, and everybody that's involved with the game. Dude, it's an amazing game. I've been addicted. My son's been addicted. He's already finished the story mode, the story missions.
He jacked your save and just started beating it.
No, well, he has his own count, so he's good.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, he did on his own name. I thought he did on yours. I was about to say.
Because the main Xbox that's right here on the big TV has the Xbox that's set as home, so he gets to play any of the games that I download.
Nice.
So he's good to go.
How that works.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then I got the Xbox that's right here, my Halo Xbox Series X that I have right here on my desk, which I was playing at because I want to take advantage of the 2.1 HDMI. So this is where I play most of the time here on my desk. But when I want to lay back and sit back and relax, then I'll just go over to the big TV.
Speaking of different Xboxes, and you even mentioned Halo, man, I want to see a Halo wrap. If they come out with a Halo wrap, I'm buying that. Because I didn't want the Starfield wrap, dude. The wraps are cool. It validates something I've been asking for a long time. Something like fathead stickers, right?
Yeah.
Those like they have them for like football and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
the stickers are nice, but man, I just hate sticking stuff.
This is a better version of the same idea.
Yeah,
this is a better version of the same idea. Is my point. Like they really did what I wanted even better, and they're replaceable. You could have instead of making all these custom Xboxes all the time, right? These special editions, you can just make these wraps, and then you could.
And then invest in making these custom controllers, because I think what people want is those custom controllers, like I do.
Yeah, these wraps and these controllers, that's for sure.
What's up, Smitty Smith?
Give me a Halo wrap.
I see you.
Smitty Smith, the homie is always there too, man.
Yeah.
So shout out to him. Where's Punty at? Usually he's around, but this is more of a surprise.
This is a surprise. This was like planned the last hour or so, or maybe noon.
Yeah.
And we talked about it at noon, and then I just mentioned it an hour ago. Hey, should we go on? And you're like, yeah, let's do it. I got time. I was like, all right, cool, let's do it. So why not, man?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, man. I've been having a heck of a time. I mean, I don't know how many hours you put in there, but I racked up a lot of hours. Of this week, because of work, I missed 2 days of not playing it, and then the days that I had time to play, I'm there until like midnight playing, like crazy of Starfield. And I usually do a lot of side missions, a lot of like the mini missions that they have throughout the game, where you're walking by somebody, and you just overhear something, and it adds on to your mission list, right?
Yep.
So I end up doing all those first, just because, okay, let me rack up the XP that's behind it and any credits. So by the time I do get to the main missions or the side missions, my guy's already pumped up.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna basically do. I'm wrapping up this one mission because I'm doing the second thing for Vladimir. I'm only 9 hours in or so, right? Like level 8 or 9, I think.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe 10. I think 9. So I'm doing that second mission for Vladimir. I already found the chick. I think I'm going with her instead of Sarah. You know what I'm saying? But right now I got the robot rocking with me all times. Right? Me and my robot buddy. It's too bad I can't change his name, but I would rename him Johnny 5. I swear to God. But
well, I named my guy Tech.
Yeah, so it's me,
right?
Me and my robot buddy walking around doing random things. I want to get the level.
I got my guy named as just Tech, because it's like I can't make up names. I'm terrible at that, right?
And the computer says it to you, like on the robot.
Well, mine doesn't.
He says the word Tech.
Mine doesn't,
because I named mine Mark, in tribute to my dad and my brother and stuff. So like, he'll say Captain
my
Mark.
Son,
says it. I'm like, wow.
My son put his name in it, and then the first time the robot said something or somebody referred to him as his name, he was like, Dad, Joe, they called my name out. Like, what? It's like, why did they do that to mine? Because I guess it's not a normal everyday name.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
not. It's not. They're not going by the spelling. They're just going if it's common name.
Right. They're all pre-recorded, basically.
Yes.
What's going on?
So if I knew that, I would have.
Instead of an actual synthesizer. No, they should have did that. A synthesizer. A synthesizer, right? but at the same time, maybe everything the robot would say would have to be in that voice, and it wouldn't have like a Maybe they should have did that, but well.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I don't know what to say about the game, dude. The game is awesome. Some people say, well, it's just another Bethesda game. It looks like Fallout with the splash of Skyrim. And so, dude, it's an amazing game. You know,
at this point, and like, I'm sorry, like a lot of people are like, oh, you make everything so black and white. No, listen, you don't have to like the game, but if you're saying all this stuff and you haven't played the game, from everything that's out there right now, all the positive reactions, you're just trying to be.
You're going against the grain.
Hater.
Going against the
grain,
yes.
Right? You just want to go against the grain at this point. You're just being,
that guy.
You're going to object to be that guy. That's what that is right now.
Yes.
And the rest of y'all, we know there's folks out there, they're doing it for disingenuous reasons, either to attract clout like IGN or you're just a hater like the ponies. But at least with those people, we know where they stand, right? And we know why. Okay,
yeah,
put them
I mean that's like okay. Everybody
easy.
knows me as an Xbox guy if they know me, right?
Right.
That's me, and that's like me making the effort, making the videos, spending a lot of time and energy, making a lot of hate videos towards any PlayStation exclusives.
You never do that.
I never do that. You know, I mean,
hell, you play them and you stream them.
I play, yeah, exactly. I play and stream them sometimes, right? It's like even though it's not my number one choice. You know, I'm not going to go out of my way and just like, well, because it's on PlayStation, I'm just going to go ahead and start making hate videos and this and that. And I'm like, but it's like, why? It's like, that doesn't do anything for me, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But for these people, and this is what I've been saying the other day, like, they're literally crazy. It's like that mod that they have for the PC version of Skyrim to show PlayStation logos.
Yes.
And it's messed up funny either way okay, because either a pony is that crazy that they did that, right? Like, you gotta see PlayStation logos. They're aghast by seeing Microsoft logos, right?
Yeah.
Or somebody trolled it, or it's just a troll by somebody, right? Or they did it because it was funny. Either way, that's a massive L. It just is.
Yes,
it doesn't matter how you can see it. It's just hilarious. And that's what this whole thing is about.
When I did fire off the game the first day, that Thursday night, I did notice it didn't have the Xbox Studios intro.
I didn't even check for that.
I noticed that right. I was like, hold on a second. It went
button to get past.
It went straight away into Bethesda, right? Into the Bethesda title screen or whatever you want to call it. I didn't see the whole like Xbox, flowing through the corner and flipping over with the sides of showing any previous developed games.
And then on top of all of that, there hasn't been any updates since release, so you're probably depending on quick resume the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, you never even get to that anyway. Like, if you ever load the game up,
it was just the first time when I fired it up.
Right. And I don't even really remember that. At best, I see the front menu if I go to quick resume, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I'll save my progress right before I exit the game, right?
Yeah.
And I go back to the dashboard before I shut my system off, right?
Yeah.
So when I load the game up, it's right back at that menu, that load screen, on the front menu, like after the logos and stuff. Like, thanks to quick resume, I never see that. I never have to wait for the game to launch. There hasn't been any.
Actually, mine's sitting in quick resume right now. Early. I was playing right before we got on this.
Yeah. So basically, that's what it is. All this stuff about the logos, it's ridiculous. Particularly if you play on Xbox, you never even see them anymore. I saw them when it first launched a week ago. That was it.
Yeah. But let me tell you, dude, I am glad I finished a couple of games right before the launch, like a week before launch, because I'm not even looking at anything else. I don't know what's coming. I know there's been some announcements, but I haven't even bothered looking. I really don't care right at this point. Just two things that I'm waiting to buy on Steam that's on my wish list just because they're indie darlings I really care about, right? Yeah. And I've been waiting for those. Other than that, I'm focused on Star. I don't care about whatever else comes out. I'm playing Starfield, and I did play Hi-Fi Rush the other night, to change things up a little bit. Like I played until I beat the first boss. Yes. Right. Not really liking how it's depending on the beat. Like, it's way too exacting on the beat, and it's not my input lag or anything like that. I've worked that out. It's not that, bro. So I'm not liking that aspect of it. But it's a fun game. It's a fun game. Yeah, I'll try to beat it. That'll be my side game. You're gonna. The bosses are awesome, and the best one. I'm not ruining it for you because it's been played all over the place, in the trailers too. But the wolf boss is amazing. Not only because of the boss, but the music. that comes along with it.
Okay, cool.
You want to play. No, you'll get into it. Don't worry about it. Because
it's got moments where the music is on a vibe, like I'm starting to vibe, but like it's about to kick in certain action points. Particularly if you're doing well. If you do well, like the music will stack. I noticed that. But if you're not, kind of with just the basic,
the platforming part.
Sometimes the timing messes me up.
When you're platforming, I get it. I understand where you're coming from. But when you get to the bosses, I don't know if you fought a boss yet.
Yeah. I already beat the first boss. Like
okay,
the big arm.
It gets
and
better.
I got to the house.
It gets better with the bosses, but the wolf one is the best one. When I started seeing feeds, because I didn't get to it at one point on Twitter, and people were like, man, the wolf boss is the best one. There's no debate, right? And I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? I had no idea until I got to it myself, and I'm like, dude, that is the best boss fight ever. Yes. Nice. Yes, the wolf one is awesome. Now you just want me to go. I need to go back and just play that part. I wish I could pick a section and I would play that part of the wolf boss. But anything. Cool. But another banger, like people like to use banger game for Xbox. Man, it's a great game. Hi-Fi Rush. So play it. Cool. No, a buddy of mine at work, he was asking me about Starfield. He's like, yo, Tech. It's like I've noticed you've been playing a lot of Starfield. It's like, how do you like it? And I was like, well, think of it as Fallout plus Skyrim. If you like those two games, he's like, I really like Skyrim. And he's like, well, it's like that, okay, except it's space skins, okay. And he's like, cool. And it's like, and there's a lot of dialogue too, and you gotta kind of listen to the dialogue, what's going on with it. But he's like, oh man, I hate dialogue. And I was like, look, why don't you try this? Sign up for Game Pass. Whether it's the $1 deal or even $15 deal, it's not a big loss. Try it out. Sign up for a month. It's like, but just remember to turn off the auto renew because it's gonna. That's how they get you. Right? It's like, try it at least for a month. If you don't like it, what's $15? Right? What's $15? And if you do like it, well, you can either buy it at a discount or keep using Game Pass. Yeah. I'm not going to convince you to get Game Pass and keep it. I'll try to convince you to say, hey, at least try it out for a month. If you don't like it, then turn it back off. It doesn't hurt you. He's like, okay, yeah, I'll try it. And so we'll see. We'll see if he likes it or not. but yeah, I'll tell you, dude, my son, he completed it. He finished. He didn't do all the side missions. Like, hey, did you do any side missions? He's like, no. It's like, it's like, then I can't talk to you then.
You make him sound like Cartman all the time, you kid. Yeah. But nice. But he's a nice one.
Yeah. But yeah, he finished it the other night. No, actually, it was last night he finished it. I'm looking at it. He's like, the credits were scrolling. I'm like, dude, are you serious? You just finished it? He's like, yeah, I finished it. He's still playing it though. He likes it. Because you go to the next game level. What is it? Game Plus or NU Plus or whatever.
New Game Plus. He's doing that.
He's doing that.
He's starting over.
And he got the new suit and everything in the ship that comes with it. So.
Oh! Wait. So when you do Game Plus, you get a new ship and thing. I didn't know about that.
Yeah. I didn't know that either until I saw. I was like, oh, so I get looks like you get a new suit, new ship. You get to keep all your attributes.
Yeah, you get to you're right. You get New Game Plus, right?
Yeah, you get to keep all your skills and everything, so you're good on that one. I'm like, oh, okay. And then it gave him a choice. It gave him a choice to either skip the main quest or do the main quest, and he chose to skip it. And it's like, well, what does that do then? It's like you just do side missions the whole time, or you just kind of explore. Is that what?
Basically, I think you get the credit for whatever you did in the original playthrough.
Yeah.
Like all the decisions you made in terms of that mission, so you don't have to do those missions anymore. It just uses whatever results you had from the previous playthrough, and then you keep the powers and everything else. And basically, it's putting you back in the game at the beginning of all the outside quests being reset and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's basically what it does.
Well, I don't see myself getting there anytime soon because I am taking my sweet time. I kid you not. I spent 2 days, right, matter of a few hours each day, exploring a planet, trying to scan everything possible on a planet, like in a couple of planets.
Nice.
That's all I've been doing. I am not that guy though. That's the thing. I'm not that player.
It makes you that guy. It makes you want to be that guy.
Yeah. I am not the person who wants to just roam around in a planet and scan it. I'm not into that. But for some reason, I'm into it here, right? And
it benefits you.
Yeah,
and
it
that's
benefits
one of the
you.
reasons to do it.
Yes, it benefits you. One, because it gives you XP every time you do something. Second, when you complete the scan 100% of a planet, you get a data disk, and then you turn that around and sell that data disk to Vladimir, and he gives you a crap load of money.
Yep,
a crap load of money.
He gives you a lot of money.
And I had no idea because I just kept going and like scanning everything. I just wanted to be a completionist. That was my goal, right? I want to scan as many planets as I want to. So by the time I met Vladimir and started selling stuff, I had like rows, dude, like pages of data. He didn't have enough money to buy everything. I had to go back and sleep for 2 days, like my character. Let him sleep for a couple of days.
Right. To get your money back, right? To get the money because he only has a certain amount of money on him.
Yes, he only has a certain amount, so you gotta let a day go by in the game, so you can go back and he has money again. And I had to do that a couple of times because I had so much stuff, so much data that he didn't have enough money to buy to give me to buy it for me. And and what happens, like if he goes into the negative, you only get half the value of the product.
Right, because he doesn't have any more money to give you.
Yeah, he has no any more money any funds left to give you for whatever the value is of that item. Yeah, and so. Yeah, it's crazy, man. The game is nuts. It's, the exploring part is fun. You gotta watch out when you're in space though, because when you hyper grav jump, whatever you call it, into a planet and there's a battle going on, you gotta watch out if you don't friendly fire somebody, because that's gonna go against you.
Wow. Okay, so a thunderstorm just began here and there was lightning just went boom. You didn't hear that?
Dude, we were supposed to get lightning and storm last night. We didn't get crap.
All right, cool. Well then, please continue.
But yeah, it's nuts, man. I mean, it's a crazy game. I love it, man. It's. I mean, I've had my enjoyments and excitements of game Titanfall, Gears, Halo, right? But we've already had a few iterations of those games, right? Besides Titanfall. Titanfall was the first one, when it first came out. And I was super hyped for that one. There's something about Starfield. I don't know, because of the hype behind it, right? Because it's Bethesda now, and it's it's not Xbox. So I don't know. I'm sure there's something behind it that's causing this like super excitement over the game. And how could you not? I mean, it's a great game. I mean, I love it, dude. I even took a day off to even play it last Friday. Not yesterday.
Oh, snap, really?
The day it was supposed to early access. I took a day off, and I told a buddy of mine at work, and he's like, "You're taking off for a video game?" It's like, dude, I rarely do this. I rarely take a day off for a video game because I can wait. I have no problem waiting. This one, I cannot wait for. I gotta play it.
You're right. Oh my god, it's just a must-have.
Yeah. But with the people hating it, I don't get it, man. Other than it's PlayStation fans, the majority of them hate it that it's on Xbox, because Bethesda now is owned by Xbox, where historically Bethesda games goes on all platforms. Well, that was history. That is not now anymore. And so that group of people, they just have to learn how to accept it. And it's not going to change. And if a game comes out to PlayStation, remember, they said case-by-case basis. There's some games they may come out on PlayStation because they're giving it the Minecraft treatment. It just makes sense to put on both, right? But we're talking about a big IP with Starfield. They're not going to just, okay, let's put it on PlayStation. No. You want to play it, and if you want to play on console, go ahead and get it on Xbox. Or sign up for Game Pass and play on the cloud.
That's simple.
That's simple. It's no different when when I want to play Spider-Man or God of War or anything else that's exclusive to PlayStation. That's why I got a PlayStation, because I got to play those. If I want to play those games, then I'll go ahead and get a PlayStation. Oh, but Tech, those games were always exclusive. It's like, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Bethesda is behind Xbox now. You want something from Bethesda, you're going to have to get Xbox. You have to go through Xbox if you want it.
Because that's exactly how it would have been if Sony had bought it.
Yes.
And nobody would have even questioned it.
But their argument will always be, well, historically, it's always been a multi-platform game. It is not anymore. Historically, a lot of things are historic. The Yankees were supposed to be champions, and now they're not. Okay? Historically, historically, they were like the best team ever, and right now they're not. Okay, so same thing with PlayStation. It's like you want a game from Xbox. You want a game from Bethesda. Then yes, historically it was a multi-platform game. Not anymore, and you're gonna have to accept that. But I don't know. What can he say to those guys? They're not going to listen. They're going to keep rambling on and say what they want to say.
Yeah, they never will listen. Never.
And just continue on. Never. I have not heard any. Seriously, man. I'm not even joking. This is not being exaggerating or trying to make fun of them. Nothing about Baldur's Gate. Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
I see them not mention anything about Baldur's Gate 3, and I'm kind of interested in playing it. I just don't know anything about it, and I haven't, there's nothing out there other than game media's coverage. This is your playthrough and so on. But I want to see a PlayStation guy play this and kind of hype it up and try to convince me to get this, because whenever there's an Xbox game, PlayStation guys always want to convince me to get a PlayStation, convince me about this game. Well, I want you to convince me about Baldur's Gate. Otherwise, I'm just going to wait until it lands on Xbox, because I'm not going to get it on PlayStation.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
They also had, and I won't stop mentioning this. They have Fort Solis. Why don't they play that? Why don't they mention that? That's their space game.
But they know it's ass.
And
that's what it is. It's what the angry video game nerd. It's ass. And they know it.
And I'll keep bringing up Fort Solis because I'm curious about Fort Solis, but I want to hear from the PlayStation guys. I want to follow at least one PlayStation, because I don't follow anybody. At least follow one PlayStation guy that is truly hyping up some of their games, like genuinely, not some fake hype, just for the sake of hyping it. I want to know, it's like, hey, is Fort Solis really good? Tell me about it. What do you like about it? And if they're just going to say, well, it's because it's on PlayStation. That is it? That's your only reason, because it's on PlayStation? It's like, that's not good enough.
That's not good enough at all.
What's up, Mr. Kima?
Kima, what up, homie?
But yeah, it's crazy.
We'll never stop that buffoonery. Never, bro.
No. This little nugget by J-Rock, I don't know who this host is. I don't know.
The host? Oh, that's David Jaffe, I think.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I thought he looked different.
Yeah, he did, but I believe that's David Jaffe.
And
if anybody knows different, Mr. Kima and Smitty, if you know different, but I believe that's David Jaffe. It sounds like him. It mostly looks like him, but he doesn't look a little different. Maybe he got a haircut or something.
Maybe, because I thought he was a completely different looking dude, but when J-Rock posted this and I saw it, this guy was so slick on how he delivered the intro part and got the guy to I remember that, and he came back and said what he said to defunct them, and that was slick. That was slick, and let's play it right now.
I like that.
I love this. Let's just hear it.
I haven't got that yet with Starfield, but I'm not far in it. But I want to say one thing, though. The game is, so far, based on word of mouth, reviews, it's a disappointment.
Okay.
I don't think it's a bad game, but it is a disappointment considering.
I mean, how much have you played?
Like 3 hours.
Okay, and what's disappointing about it to you?
To me, it just doesn't get. First of all, I thought the intro was horrendous. I think the writing.
What about the intro?
Right.
What about the intro was horrendous?
It just was very lackluster. Like, if you compare it to Skyrim, immediately you're fighting a dragon, and then you're sent out into the world to do anything you want. Like, literally anything you want. Whereas this is a little bit, like I said, it's a little more shallow. It's a little bit almost more like Mass Effect, where it's more story oriented. It's pushing you in a certain direction.
Do you think that was the choices you made? What is her name? Lynn or Lim, the lady who's your boss? Do you think part of it is just the fact that she asked you to burn the bodies and shit, and it should be more of a choice versus she forces you to do it, and it's almost like it's scripted at that point?
That's some of it.
I mean, that didn't happen at all in the game, so I'm assuming you haven't played it yet, correct?
No, I swear to God, I played it, but it's
wow.
When you go to.
How can you not laugh at that?
I'm back.
How can you not
Man,
laugh
that is just hilarious. That's just hilarious. But see, it's a textbook example of what we all know, and it's what I was saying to you just before the show started, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, all this stuff all year. This year has basically been about, like, with the what do you call the Activision deal, right?
Yeah.
And now the reactions to Starfield, both with the way the press is being real shady, right? Plus everything else, right? It's just like, how can I put it? Everything we knew, we're getting receipts for nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
All these things that we've known for so long about the bias in the press, right? About these ponies and how they lie, and a lot of these guys who will say whatever just for clicks, will have a dissenting opinion, right? Just for clicks, like IGN, they did it with this, and they did it with that live action One Piece show that's on Netflix, right? I'm not big into One Piece. In fact, I don't watch that at all. Like, I watch anime, but this is just an example I'm giving, right, with IGN, because it just goes to show they do this with everything. It's not just video games, because they do movies and stuff too, right? So, One Piece, it's very famous anime. It's still going. It's over 1,000 episodes thus far. If you heard of Dragon Ball Z and Naruto and and Bleach and all these others, like, One Piece is as big as any of those, right?
Yeah.
Big.
I've heard of it. I've just never seen it.
Deal. Right. Meaning I don't really watch, but I know of it, right?
Yeah.
And so the anime community is very vocal about stuff, right? And one thing they've been very vocal about that I think most people would know is these live action renditions of anime. When they're really bad, they harp all over it. Like, one of those would be like Dragon Ball Evolution, right?
Mm-hmm.
Known for being very horrible, nothing like the source material. They did that Street Fighter Chun-Li movie. Everybody knows how bad that is in the gaming community, right? Like, so, but this One Piece one is largely well received by the anime community. Even I heard about this, right? When you look on IGN, they're giving it a 7, right? And when you watch their YouTube video, you see if you had that out on, so you can see the downvotes in YouTube videos, right?
Yeah.
You see massively downvoted, like 6,000 plus downvotes compared to like a couple hundred likes. You know what I'm saying? But they do that for the clicks and views, right?
Yeah.
And that's another angle of what these people are doing. Then there's just the ponies. We know how they lie and all that stuff. This year has just been proof positive of everything we've talked about. And here's one here, David Jaffe with this situation, right?
Yeah.
Like, we know what David Jaffe has been about stuff, right? Up and down. But at first he wasn't so with the game, but he was giving his honest opinion, and he kept it constructive, right? Over time, it won him over, right? It won him over time. And in the end, he loved the game. He gave it lots of praise. He did lots of praise. But after that, now he's been getting attacked by these ponies, right? Now that he's giving it positive, because at very first he wasn't, right? And so they're bringing it up. Now they feel betrayed by him. Of course, they got out at him. So,
of course,
he got one of them on there on his show, right? And he tricked the hell out of him and exposed him for what he was, because he knew. See, that's the thing. We all know what's going on with these people.
But the way
David Jaffe,
the way he delivered it was so slick, though.
He did it. See, he did it like he already knew that's what it was, because we all already know what it is. So he did it without batting an eye. You even see when David is talking, when he's saying it, he says it like it was a part of the conversation.
Yes.
Because it already is. That's my point. We all know what's going on. Even David Jaffe, right? Everybody knows what they're doing when they're doing it, when they're in in this thing of ours, right? We know what's going on, even when we're telling the truth or being full of shit. So it just comes off smooth and instant, and the guy didn't even catch up on it because he just dared to talk shit. So there's another example. It's like, it's ridiculous with this, bro. And it truly is the PlayStation community. And everybody always knew, they just let it slide. Now it seems they can't.
No, they can't. I found it funny was, which one was it? They were trying to make a big deal about Steam's and their refunds. And there was 200K refunds or something, or some number like that. And they were trying to say it's all Starfield returns, right? Like nobody, like 200 people. It's like, no, that is the overall Steam refunds.
Yes.
Which is a mix of Steam. All the games that got refunded, not just specifically one game called Starfield. And they had to come out and explain that, right?
Classic.
Was it Steam that had to come out and kind of like debunk that? Like, no, you got that wrong. What's wrong with you? You know, it's the overall returns for the past whatever metric they're using, the last hour, the last month or something. That were returns, not just specifically Starfield. It's like, how much of an idiot can he be to think that that's how many there are? Now, are there some? I'm sure there are some maybe returns in there, but 200,000. Come on, it's like, you gotta be stupid to think that. You're a total ass.
The thing about it is, they want to believe it. Otherwise, you'd have to be a moron, right? If you're in your right frame of mind, you would never fall for that. But they're clearly not. Get it? Like,
yeah, well, they see something like that, like, oh, we can use this, and like, let's pretend it's all Starfield, and like get the attention we want, right? And I'm like, really? Is that is that it? Until somebody corrects you and like look like a total ass, you know?
Same old. Truly.
That was just dumb. I mean, just idiotic.
And so this year has been a whole year of this stuff. Like, everything has been exposed. Everybody's on the same playing field now. But what I notice is, like, I see guys like Alex and Fratanga. Fratanga is more just neutral now, it seems, right? He's going with, like, he really did for a guy who ingests a lot of drugs. Wow. But you see Alex, like, he's always saying how his PlayStation, like, he really has nothing to say on Xbox. He's really the PlayStation guy. Yeah. But see, that's the thing about it. The Alex is a bit of a, I want to call it a grifter or something, but this is what he does. It's like the politics of all this stuff, all the politics and stuff. Like, he'll sit there and point and laugh for views, for clicks and views at anybody who's doing or saying anything stupid. And of course, he'll maximize, you know, how bad something is. Like, he'll overinflate it. Yeah, he'll double down on everything. Double down, right? Yeah. And of course, that's the name of the game he's in, right? I'm not mad at that or nothing. It's just that, like, what he won't say openly is, it's not Xbox guys who just like that by default. That it's really, like, he'll say PlayStation is consistent. PlayStation guys, maybe they should stop and listen, blah blah blah, and all of that. But he won't just say that it's the one truth that hasn't been said. I feel that's left to be said. That these PlayStation dudes are some of the most toxic to ever do it. Sure, there's toxic in all groups, truly is. But to say that the Xbox or Nintendo or PC has been anything like that, or that any of the things you could say that any of those have done has been bad for gaming, like what Sony does, like for the success of games, for the accessibility and ease of use, the cost of games, like the Sony model costs more, get less, they do less, you're ending up buying a lot more stuff over and over, like the way everybody else is doing, particularly Microsoft and with the PC market, and see, that brings Nintendo into it and Sony into it. But if it wasn't for them, what would gaming be like today? The cost, the complex, like, nothing that Sony is doing makes any sense. And the people that support them is what made them be like this, right? If the Xbox, if Microsoft was in the lead, but the Xbox fan base was on their ass about anything negative they did, right? They can never be like that. See, it takes the company that's willing to do it and the fan base to allow it to happen, not speak against it when it's happening. And that's what the PlayStation fan base is. That's what the PlayStation situation is, right? It's the company is willing to be as evil as can be, and they have a fan base that's willing to allow it as long as they can sit there and proclaim how great PlayStation is. That's
Yes.
how it's going to remain until
Who knows when?
forever.
And then
Basically, at this rate.
And then the same week that the early access was going on, then Sony announces they're going to raise the prices. It wasn't even $1, right? It was like $20,
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
No, it depends on the level you're at. At the PlayStation Plus, it's as high as 40. On the highest one, I think you're paying $40 more
No,
for the year. Yeah,
God.
the top for the top end version of their plan or whatever it is.
Which the top
pretty sure
the
about.
top end version of their plans is awful. I don't. If anything,
I think it was already like 119. Now it's like 153, something like that. It's something like that. Yeah.
Oh man, no, thank you. And only one of the three that I actually did like, but I still have no reason to sign up for their thing. Was the middle
Now?
one? The middle one, which is I don't even know what it's called. I know there's the essentials is the lower tier.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
You got the
Right.
premium, which is the top one. I forgot what the middle one's called, but I find that more of a value than the top tier one. But now if they're gonna jack the prices up by $20 or so, it's like nah, you can keep it. I'll buy my used PlayStation games when it's on sale for like under $30 or something. So no, thank you. So
Oh.
no. Like you're saying, sorry, yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. These guys are crazy. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
It amazes me how much time they continue doing this and keep fighting against Xbox, making these ridiculous claims that has no merit whatsoever, right? Just for the sake of like, yeah, I got them. Look how they're hurting. Look at, I'm saying, dude, you're not hurting anybody. You just look like a total jackass. That's what you look like. You know,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so, I don't know. These guys are just dumb.
They're extra weird with it too.
They are.
That's what I think.
They are. They lost this. Starfield has broken everybody. It goes from starting from the fans to the media people. And
it exposed everybody for who and what they really are, plainly for all to see, for there to be no debate.
IGN
like, even
was
the Xbox
awful.
fanboys were extra wild and toxic.
Yes.
Like the few that existed, like everybody already knows who they are, and they're cut out from the larger community. That's already happened, right? Which is very few. They're like 3 guys, right? Meanwhile, these PlayStation, like every clown out there, every clown in the press, everything is out for everybody to see. It doesn't even matter what happens at the Game Awards now. It doesn't even matter.
No. I was gonna say, but yeah, it's just they spend too much energy hating on something that has nothing to do with them. That's like me dedicating myself to hating on PlayStation the whole time, and I don't. You'll see an occasional video here and there, but it's not littered. My collection of videos is not littered with just PlayStation hate. I mean, the majority of, like, if anything, any PlayStation videos that I do have would be mocking them, not even hating them. It's just mocking, doing my Sony Can't Do No Wrong videos or shorts. It's showing how ridiculous they sound when I hear them talk,
Right.
But that's it. But to hold spaces, to hold, YouTube, shows or anything just dedicated towards that, and not ever talk about anything PlayStation. I was like, that's sad.
And they have a big game of their own that's about to be released. Spider-Man.
Seriously,
They never talk about PlayStation. They talk about Xbox only.
Yeah,
No Baldur's
it's so
Gate
true.
came out, they didn't talk about it at all.
It comes
right?
out
And then we come
in
to find
about
out
a
the bad news
month.
about that on Xbox. But I'm talking about the PlayStation version. It just came out the same day as Starfield, I believe. Nobody talked about it.
No.
Xbox dudes. The only discussion was from Xbox dudes who were like, "Dude, why aren't you talking about this? This is out. This is your thing. Why?" PlayStation dudes had nothing to say. All they had to say was about Xbox and Starfield.
Oh, you mean For Solus?
No.
What?
Baldur's Gate.
Oh, Baldur's Gate. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all they don't talk about that at all. It came out the same day as Starfield.
No.
like the like the public version, like
Yeah.
how Starfield
The general launch
release, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same. That happened the same day as Baldur's Gate on PlayStation, and they just continue to talk about Starfield. See, we got them by the balls. That's just what it is.
Yeah, so they got Baldur's Gate that they're playing, but has a bunch of issues with it because I did read about that.
Mm-hmm. Act 3.
It can't. Yeah, get to Act 3 and then it just breaks. And from what I understand, that if people are really touting Baldur's Gate and saying what an amazing game it is, and not talk anything, critique anything about it, then they never reached Act 3. Right? They never went beyond Act 2 because once they get to Act 3, then it's a total shit show.
Yep.
Right? And so that shows that they're not playing it. Right? And you just mentioned Spider-Man that's coming out in October. Was it October?
Oh, one other thing. One other thing too. It calls into question the Metacritic that game got. Right?
Yeah.
Because if this happened to Starfield, come on.
Oh, it did.
To me, that sounds like the level of Cyberpunk mess ups there. No. Like that game is getting a lot of passes for a lot of things. Like, and I don't hate on Baldur's Gate. Remember, I bought a copy for my brother because he's been into the series. That's how I know of it, right? But like let's spade a spade. If this was happening in Starfield or anything else, Microsoft, come on, bro.
Shit, man.
The field day they'd be happening.
Come on.
Like you think Redfall was an issue?
No, it was just like, oh, look at all the disasters coming on Xbox. Oh, look at this, look at that. And I'm like, man, you're just waiting for that trip up, just to use it to kick somebody when they're down,
Exactly.
Oh, if he fell down, he fell down. Let's kick him in the gut. And like, what? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? It's just nuts, man. Oh man,
absolutely.
6 million players, Starfield. Now they're spinning this 6-player. Well, how many are playing on Game Pass? And they're getting it for free. Like, we're not getting it for free.
So?
We got to pay for it. Like, we're gonna pay it for the service.
Especially the 6 days early people, right?
Yes.
Like this, like us who paid to have it early. There were millions of us.
Yeah.
That was already a W. It's just like when it was for Forza Horizon. Last year
don't
before,
get me started
right?
with the early access, because when they saw the numbers for early access, they're like, oh, look how pathetic the numbers are low for something that we're so hyped on. It's like, dude, general launch hasn't even come by yet. We still got a few days left.
And that's still a high number by default on any game.
Yes,
For early access, that's incredible. Like, Final Fantasy failed, right?
Yeah.
As announced by Square, Final Fantasy 16 failed. Starfield, massive success. Their biggest success ever. Bethesda have never released a game that has gotten this many purchases day one. Flat out.
Yeah.
Flat out. 6 million. Okay? You take out the 2 from the from early access, that leaves you with 4. That's still the record. That's still a new record for them. Okay, so you're saying, oh, they had a whole week to get an extra 2 million. Fine. We'll take that out of the equation. That's still 4. That's still a new record for them. By far. And it's only on the one platform in PC. It's missing out on PlayStation, which wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Well, we were told that this won't succeed without PlayStation. That's what I was told.
PlayStation games don't succeed on PlayStation.
They don't.
So says their CEOs.
Two of them in a row. Jim said it.
Jim and Yoshida said it before him.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. Oh, it's nuts. So what's so Starfield? Yes, it does have its little moments.
Yeah.
Where it gets
Nothing's
buggy.
Perfect.
There's a few things that I've seen. It's not game breaking, and it's not interruptive to the gameplay. What I've experienced. What I've seen is bodies stuck in the air. Right.
I've never seen that.
I've seen that, or they're kind of off a table and they're just not fully falling on the ground. Right. I've seen objects, whatever, like a plant or something, just spinning around. Right. It's just kind of like.
I'll be back in 20 seconds.
It's just going back like all over the place, just in place. It's not jumping around or anything. It's just in that where it's supposed to be sitting at. It's just kind of jumping around all over the place. That's what I seen. I think the hit markers can be a little bit better because there's been moments that I've had my target, my reticle, like right on target, and it's still showing as missing completely, right? So I don't know if that's just the nature of the character that's not built up for that type of weapon, or does it need some refinement? But it is not game breaking, right? Those are easy fixes that they can do. It doesn't interrupt the game of play. It doesn't interrupt the story. It's not locking up. It's not overheating my Series X. It's not doing anything that's catastrophe. Nothing.
Listen, and you know the reason for that is, it's like I said in a previous podcast. I know J-Rock was there. I remember at least he was there. From a couple other people. I said and I said this in reaction to what was going on with Halo even at the time when it got delayed, right?
Yeah.
After what happened with Cyberpunk, if y'all don't understand what it means to delay a game, particularly if they say because it needs more work, basically, right? And more time in the oven, basically. For however they word that, right? If it boils down to that, right? From now on, particularly after Cyberpunk, right? We already know. I will stand up and applaud. You know why? Because, like, number one, it's tough to do that. Particularly when you got all these, yes men, all the money men, they don't care. They just want shit to rush out. Look at EA, right? Countless examples of EA. Countless examples. Look at Saints Row, right? That killed Volition. Amongst other things, the narrative, stuff like that, and just the quality of the game, right? It needed time in the oven. That was another game that needed time in the oven. Maybe if it had that time in the oven, all these other issues with the game, with the woke narrative and whatever else they want to say, right? Like that wouldn't have been, another negative, right? Enough to kill it.
Yeah.
When you combine those, right? If the game had more time and was worked on, right? Countless other games this happened in the past. So like people, that's one of the business successes of this game. It's so polished.
It is.
Compared to what it would have been if it had come out last year when it was supposed to in November. It would have been the typical Bethesda. This is the end of Bethesda because Microsoft has that time and that latitude to hold back on these games too. They put themselves in a position to be able to do that. And I applaud that even when they don't have that leverage.
Well,
right?
The people will question then, if that's the case, if they did this with Starfield, they should have noticed something with Redfall and did the same thing.
You know what? You're right. Because I feel the reason they did that at the time was they don't really have a space for it later. It's just going to get eaten up later, and they need something out now because it's been all this time without something, right? Yeah. Like, that was the narrative, that they didn't do nothing with it. So imagine what it would have been had they not released the game, right?
Yeah.
It's the one example I guess you could say works against what I'm saying, but I don't think this would have been 100%. So hear me out. Like, the narrative would have continued that they have no games.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. All this time, most of them we've been rocking has been third party, right? Great games, like genre-defining games. Like, this is that point in the new generation, like, 2 years on, where all the developers have started getting a wrangle on, and now we're getting new games or new entries that really take advantage of the hardware. Great game. That's been happening all year, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of discussion, like, this year is like another 2007, another 1998, another 2004, right? Like, this year has, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Diablo, Starfield, another Call of Duty, Zelda, like, tons of games this year, right?
Yeah.
Armored Core, I think I didn't say that already, right?
No,
This game this year has been thick, but that's all third party. So the narrative would have been Xbox ain't got nothing once again. So this is probably the one example where it was better off that they put Redfall and it took the L it did.
Yeah.
Right? Because how would it have looked right now, no matter how good Starfield is, that the narrative would have been this long that they had no game. The damage that would have done, like all the L that Sony shit would have been taking, that wouldn't have happened. Like the point of view everybody would have for Sony, despite them two not having anything. Right? Like, that just would have been glossed over. We know it. Even if we had pointed it out. Those of us on the Xbox side, right? Like, even if we had pointed that out, it just wouldn't have mattered. and that's what it would have been now. So I don't know. I'm not saying I fully think this, but at the same time, what would have been if Redfall didn't get released when it did, and they had held it back?
Yeah.
How much worse the situation would have been in. Sometimes there's these tough decisions, bro, and you can't predict it. You just gotta go with what you feel. And they did what they did with Redfall. I mean, I wouldn't take it back at this point. But it's unfortunate that they didn't see that this game needed that much more time and not have announced it when they did. You know. So, but now I think the lesson has been learned, especially, right? They see A and B comparison.
Yeah.
When you don't do it with Redfall and when you do it with Starfield, they learned their lesson. I feel.
Yup. And Redfall is still a fun game. I mean,
yeah.
I think it's more fun co-op. Anything is pretty much more fun in co-op. You know, you play. We've had our sessions with J-Rock and Legal and the Realist playing Redfall co-op, and dude, it's hilarious. It's funny. You know, everybody has their character they pick, and back up each other. It's fun. It's a fun game. It's still a fun game. Yeah, my son played that one too, and finished it as well. He finished it before I did. The jerk. He keeps finishing. He's a kid. He has no responsibilities, and so he's able to finish these games before I can. So, of course. But I asked him, hey man, it's like none of my friends are online. Come help me. He's like, all right. He jumps on the other Xbox and he starts gaming with me. And play Redfall. He thought.
Oh,
go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say something else. I just saw something I'm gonna talk about afterwards.
So I asked my son. Now, okay, before Starfield came out, he was already hyped up about Starfield. And before it came out, I think I mentioned this before. I asked him, it's like, look, if you want understanding what Starfield's like, go play Fallout. Start Fallout. And he did, right? And it wasn't clicking for him. He didn't like. He came back and said, "No, I don't like it." And I was like, "Okay, fair enough. I'm not gonna make you play it. I mean, I just said try it out. If you don't like it, great. I mean, you don't like it,
right?"
And so Starfield started approaching. He started playing last weekend. Enjoyed it. Yesterday he finished it. I asked him again. So now that you understand what Starfield is and you enjoyed it and you liked everything about it, do you think you want to try Fallout 4 again? And he told me no. And I said, why? It's like, well, it's the same concept, except that there's no planets. It's one big map on Fallout. And he's like, because there's a lot of walking. That's what he told me.
What about the fast travel?
There's too much walking. I was like, yeah, there is. There's a lot of walking, but things happen though. That's the thing. You get attacked by this big scorpion-looking thing, or the ghouls and the other monsters. I mean, there's always something. That's a Bethesda game, man. You can wander around and you can be in the middle of a battle because you just happen to walk up there. They're just great games. They're awesome games. And this is his first. Now, besides having a taste of Fallout, this is truly his first RPG game that he played. And I think it had to do a lot with the spaceships. That's what it was.
Like the construction and all that stuff.
Well, not only the construction, that you can fly around when you go to a place and you can battle pirates. He got really good at disabling their grav drive and boarding them. I haven't been able to do that. I end up destroying everybody. I don't disable them and then able to.
You gotta get the targeting. You gotta get the targeting thing.
Yeah.
You gotta buy that, and then you'll be able to target their engines and whatnot, and that way you'll be able to damage them enough to be able to board them safely.
Listen, that's what I'm not doing. I end up just destroying them because like, how can I board these? It's like I just destroy them.
Yeah. Well, that's how you do it, basically.
And then I didn't know. I'm learning from him that you can destroy the asteroids if there is any and pick up material or resources.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I had no idea until he showed me.
Yep.
I just kept dodging them. Anytime I started going into space and there was asteroids there, I just dodged them. I'm like, all right. And then he's like, you could destroy these and collect. You can collect the resource. I'm like, what? Seriously? He's like, yeah. Look, like, no shit. It's like, okay, I'll do that too.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a fantastic game. I mean, it has some little pity for the people that just hate it for the sake of hating it, just because it's not on their preferred platform.
I don't feel pity for them. I just laugh at them. I find them funny. Funny.
They are a funny bunch, man. It's like, I don't know. I mean, I've been quiet on social media and don't know what's really going on, just because I've been busy playing Starfield, and I've been enjoying it since early access, and I'm not even close to the end because there's so much to do. You know, I'm not a builder, so I'm trying to buy my ship, right? There's really,
right.
I didn't see it like a real guide to building a ship. Like, hey, you know, if you buy a cockpit, you're gonna need this. And if you buy that, you're gonna need this other thing to make it work. There really isn't. It's just like, it's a free for all. You can build it the way you want. There's really no guidance of what component you need of a ship, and I can't do that. I actually need a little bit guidance. Like, you know, if I'm buying one part, I was like, okay, well, you're gonna need these other ones to make it work, right? Whereas in the game, it doesn't really tell you that, you know. At least from what I saw, it doesn't do that. So I've been racking up shitload of money, credits, so I can buy this, where I'm gonna buy this ship that has 30 light year travel. It has.
Dude, wait. Hold on. Before you spend your money, did you get the Mantis?
I got it. Yeah.
You did the Mantis mission.
Yeah, I got it.
So here's the thing. Shit, I learned about this. I haven't done the mission yet, but I saw like a how-to, and they explained this at the very end. So you know, at the very end, when you get the Mantis suit off the mannequin,
yeah,
you should save the game. Don't quick save. Save the game before you pick it up, because the stats are procedurally generated.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah. So I suspect that anytime you see items, like, you know, sometimes you see helmets inside a case,
yeah,
and it'll be like a different type.
Yeah,
you should save there before you get it.
And just reload it every time.
Yeah, and see if you can get better stats, because they're procedurally generated more times than not, right? Anytime it's on the mannequin, it's like that. A lot of these weapons you see are up in walls and stuff that you have to get up, like they'll be procedurally generated. Also, the DigiKey thing. Like, if you haven't
I've been finding a lot of those now.
But, like, you know how you have to use them on the locks, right? Just save before you do the lock. Yeah, that's all.
Oh, I do that with the persuasions too.
Yeah, persuasion, same thing. Like, take advantage of what you got, bro.
Because I liked, like, just like in Fallout games, I like to rank up my persuasion every time, because, dude, you do a lot of talking, and you need to persuade somebody at some point. So I've learned
that the gap.
So I've always learned in the Bethesda games, you gotta up your persuasion at least, you know, to get to convince people, and that's what I've been trying to do. And I think I'm one away from having maxed out that skill. And what I've done lately is to get the credit, because, you know, you gotta do like 10 out of 15 or something, or whatever the requirement is to rank up. What I've been doing is I save before I have to convince somebody, and then I'll do it. If I fail, I load back to the save before, and then try again. And what sucks is that the answer that you gave before may not work in the next instance.
Yes, because it's random. Like the stats are different. The stats are different. Like, you're just rolling a die, basically.
Yeah. And time. So a good place to capture at least, I think it's 5 or 6 persuasion attempts, or persuasion missions is at Neon. I happened to walk around Neon, right? I don't know what happened, but I happened to do a couple missions at Neon, and it picked up a few persuasion missions, right? So I'm like, what's all these other missions that popped up on my screen, right? So I start looking and say, go talk to this one.
You were walking near people when they were talking.
Yeah, I was talking. I was walking near people, and I picked up their dialogue, and it gave me a mission, right? And so these missions just happen to be persuasion missions. So on my last one, I'm like down to, like, I think I need 3 more to max it out. And I just happened to land on Neon, where I picked up all these persuasion missions, and I was like, sweet, I can knock all these out now, you know, and not have to worry about, like, when's my next persuasion mission. It's like, I have them all here at Neon. And so, just a little tip. If
sounds cool.
If you're playing this and watching this video here, save your game before you actually do something. And if you don't like the outcome, just a little cheat sheet, you know.
Yep.
Reload it back. Oh, and no joke, here's one. So I've been playing. I'm trying to remember what the heck I did, right? And I think I know what I did, but I have no idea. I'm not positive. So one day I went to what's it called? Aquila City? City? I landed there, and once I walked into town, there was a huge shootout. People were just shooting each other. They were shooting at me. They were trying to, I was like, oh, hell with this. So I started fighting back, and I killed every single one of them, right? And so once I go to Wilcox to talk to her about joining the free, whatever they're called, free rangers, the cop at the bar approaches me and says, you're under arrest, yada, yada, yada. I was like, what the hell did I do? Right? I just saved the town, right? It's like, what the hell just happened, right? And it's like, all right, you're gonna sit in jail, and your fine is 120,000 credits. Like, no way. I was like, I am not losing all these credits because I'm trying to buy a ship that costs 400,000, right?
All right.
It's like, there's no way I'm gonna lose all this credit here. And so I let it sit for a day, right? I'm trying to figure out what happened. It's like, all right, you know what? I really didn't do much. Let me go back to a couple of saves, right? And it kept coming back with that, where there was a shootout, but this time with the shootout, I didn't do anything. I went ahead and went into the bar and talked to Wilcox. And it kicked off that guy from the bar and said, you're under arrest. I'm like, what the heck? Right? It's like, heck no, let me go a little further. So I think I lost about hours of gameplay, 1 hour of gameplay, right? To a point where I still got arrested, but the fine was only 600 credits, right? And I was like, okay, I'll do that. I'm not gonna lose 120,000. I'll do 600. That's no problem, right? I still have no idea why that 120,000 fine was in place. I think what it was. Okay, here's my guess. Is that the reason why I got arrested the last time, like the final time, and I accepted it because it was 600 credits, because I had contraband, right? Oh. I had contraband. I had no idea I had it. Right, I don't remember what the contraband was, if I had it, right? And so before that moment when I accepted the $600 fine, you know, I had those moments where everybody was shooting out. It was because I had a contraband, and everybody that was shooting around at me were rangers trying to arrest me. So I end up killing all the rangers that were there, and each one was a fine, which amounted to the 120,000.
I'm reading. I heard some theory that, you know, all that load time that happens when you're switching places, it's not really loading new assets. That, I mean, of course it is, but it's also calculating all the stuff, because all these quests and stuff, even if you haven't actually started them, they're still happening in the galaxy.
Yeah.
So it's like calculating all that stuff before it moves on.
Yeah. So that's my theory, that I had a contraband. I didn't realize I had it, and when I was in Aquila City and they started just shooting at me, it was like, I'm not gonna just sit here and take it. I'm gonna defend myself, right, even though I had no idea why they were shooting at me. Mm-hmm. And then all those kills that I had amounted to the 120,000 credit fine.
Damn.
And so I had to keep scooting back on my game saves, and luckily the hour and a half that I did lose was nothing but was surveying a planet, so I really didn't care.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't
Vladimir money though.
Yeah, it's just like the money part. I was gonna be hurt. It's like, dude, I'm trying to save for this $400,000 ship that has 2,000 mass, like 30 something light year travel, and I was like, I'm not gonna lose out 120,000 credits, you know? So,
yeah, fuck that.
No. So, but see how exciting it is. You know, you get into this game and so many little things happen, and
yeah, you know,
it's just crazy. It's crazy. It's fun. See, if PlayStation guys talk about your games like this, man.
Games, bro. Yeah.
Talk about your games. You PlayStation guys, get me excited about a PlayStation game. I have a PlayStation. I have nothing to play on it. Nothing.
I want a reason to have to buy one.
Yes.
Give me a reason to buy one.
I almost bought Forsaken because Amazon or somebody had like a buy one get one free, and I still haven't bought it yet because it hasn't dropped enough. So, yeah. just enjoy your stuff, man. Just enjoy it. Stop wasting all this time and energy on like hating people and hating games and making spaces and making shows and
all this energy you're wasting, bro.
Yes.
And most of y'all aren't these top tier ponies who's making money off of it. You're really not, bro.
No.
You're really not. Like that $150 you might be getting from Twitter ain't doing nothing for you. Like, come on, all that energy you could have got actual money.
Exactly.
And 9to5 would have gave you more money than that. Jeez.
Yes. So, all right, man. It's 5 o'clock my time, 6 o'clock your time. I know you got to put some turkey in the oven or something. You said.
No, I already took that out.
Oh, you already did.
Yeah.
And then
go eat it now.
I need to. You know, I gotta. Dang it! I really don't want to do this. I gotta write a job description about myself. Because I'm trying to move into a different position, and they're trying to replace me. So they're gonna. I've been in my role for like 6 years now, so they have no idea what kind of candidate they really need now. Since the thing that I do was kind of thrown at me, hey, I'll do this. I'm like, okay, and that has been a 6-year thing, right? And so now they're like, well, let's say. It's like now that everything's running like it's supposed to, like nice and smooth, and everybody's taking care of. It's like, what kind of person do we need here? And I'm like, well, you probably don't need a 20-year veteran in this position, but you need somebody that knows a little bit something about SQL, Yeah. So I gotta write a job description about myself, and just so they can have it, and because they really don't know, my managers don't know, and move on to a new role.
Cool.
So,
upgrade.
Yes.
About damn time.
Yes. It's an upgrade. Yes. And my XP. I'm trying to max out my XP at work. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, man. Anything? Yeah. Last things to say. Enjoy it. Or what?
So we got a new FTC member. So now the Democrats are in charge, which is good because one of the first things they said they're gonna do is
wait, Lena's gone.
Neutrality. So hooray. That was kind of cool. But yeah, man, playing Starfield.
Khan is gone?
No. Just like I don't know who it was they replaced. I have the article right here.
Oh, okay.
Ars Technica. It's on Ars Technica.
Yeah.
Confirmation. Somebody was leaving from the group.
Oh.
So they needed
like the one of many that's left already.
Yeah. So they did that, and now it's a Democrat, and they were like, now that they're like, this is what they're gonna do. That's exactly what they're gonna do immediately. So
cool.
There we go.
All right then. Well, you have a good rest of your Saturday, and I'll do what I can here left over my Saturday, and
no doubt.
We'll see.
Thanks for everybody for coming out in the chat. Smitty Smith and Mr.
Kima. Yep. Let's see. There's actually 4 right now. Well, I guess they're dropping now because we're dropping. So, all right. Good night. We'll be back I'll be back Thursday. If you got time sick, you're always welcome.
I'll be here.
And then we'll go from there. All right, guys.
Yep.
Good night and bye.
Peace.